Big news coming out of Congress. We're going to speak about Speaker Johnson's announcement that has shaken up, and Trump has been alerted on all of this stuff that we are about to talk about. But there's been a huge, and I mean a huge, push from the Democrats to say that this is true right here. House GOP blocks vote on release of Epstein files. Now, I had to do a deeper search and a deeper dive to know why the GOP would be blocking the release of the Epstein files, but it wasn't exactly what they said it was. And usually, per Democrats, leave it up to them to try to control this narrative. We ended up finding a clip from the Benny Johnson show where Marjorie Taylor Greene breaks down exactly what happened in Congress. Her being a congresswoman, she explains exactly what it was. Paulina Luna also explains what it was, and then we're going to get to the Epstein files on this. But they're lying about what actually they even voted for in the first place, which is, again, not shocking that they're trying to control the narrative on this. So I'm going to play this clip. This is a clip that's making its rounds. Then we're going to talk about, again, Mike Johnson's announcement, Speaker of the House. But this right here is the most important story of the day, because the narrative is that the Republicans are blocking the Epstein files, but that's not even what happened. Take a listen.
I got to correct something real quick.
Please.
So it's being reported that House Republicans unanimously voted to block the release of the Epstein files. And I want to straighten out the record right now. That is not true. If I could vote, okay. If I could vote to release the Epstein files, guys, you would have my vote. I would vote yes. Here's what just happened. It was a procedural vote, and we have these all the time. It's called a PQ. It's voting on the previous question. And if the Democrats had won the previous question, which I know sounds insane, it's one of these crazy rules in the House that are hard to understand, that means they would control the House floor. And that means they could bring up anything. They could bring up impeachment articles against President Trump. They could bring up a whole package of insane Democrat agenda items and force votes on the House floor on these things. That's what we voted against. We never allowed Democrats to have control of the House floor because we control the House floor.
Yes.
So it's a misunderstanding. And I just wanted to straighten that out.
So she straightens this out, and then we're going to jump over here because Eric Swalwell, again, we're going to go to more explanations as to what happened, but he went on camera. He basically, again, what every other Republican has been blamed for today, and every Democrat has been jumping on the story. So again, Eric Swalwell says Republicans are blocking the release of the Epstein files to protect President Trump. Let me debunk this for you. The blocked amendment was a partisan tactic, not a direct vote on the release. So nothing here is direct. You heard what Marjorie Taylor Greene said. Democrats led by Representative Ro Khanna tried to attach an unrelated amendment to cryptocurrency legislation, which was the Genius Act, that would direct the DOJ to compile and release Epstein records with victim redactions. This was nothing more than a procedural stunt to force awkward votes on must-pass bills rather than a standalone efforts for transparency. So none of this was standalone. And if they would have won this vote, they would have been able to control the House floor. They knew it'd be rejected, but they only want you to know what they tried. They tried, when in reality, they actually never tried. And again, here's this goofy guy on camera, again, pushing this narrative because it's the most beneficial thing right now for Democrats is to say that, oh, we're the ones actually trying to release the files. Take a listen.
I want to tell you something that just happened on the House floor. Republicans are voting against releasing the Epstein files. And you're probably asking, well, how is that the case? Here's what happened. Last night at the Rules Committee, the Rules Committee voted on what would be in the debate rules for the week. Democrats offered an amendment to release the Epstein files, a part of the legislation that we're voting on this week. Republicans voted against it. So now, to pass their rules package, which would control what bills we pass this week, they have to again vote against the Democrats and what we are suggesting, which is any bill this week should include releasing the Epstein files. So that's,
again, intertwining. I don't even think that's a word, but it's the mixtures and confusion that got us to this point. And here's Paulina Luna basically, debunking someone who basically said that the GOP unanimously voted to block the Epstein files. And I've seen this everywhere. And I'm not gonna lie, I was in awe. I was like, I can't believe that this is what the GOP is doing. By the way, I told you guys, whether you voted for Trump or not, you don't have to consider yourself a Republican. You may vote Republican, but man, these rhinos are crazy. These Republicans are crazy. But it's also good to dig in and find the truth in this particular matter. So Paulina Luna, representative, says this is not true. This was a procedural vote that it failed. Would have turned over the House to the Democratic Party. Again, they can introduce a whole bunch of legislation, including impeachment. You should update your posting so that you're putting out actual and factual information. Pull up the language for this and vote and verify it for yourself. So that is a huge, huge dilemma about the news on the GOP today. And that is, again, shocking stuff to not only find how many people jumped on the story. I jumped on it, but then I said, you know what? I need to do some research for myself. Now, I know that Republicans were against Ghislaine Maxwell basically going up to Congress, but are they? Are they really? Let's take a look. Now we have this announcement here from that's making its rounds, right? Almost 1 million views here. And the Speaker Mike Johnson saying that he actually supports Ghislaine Maxwell, while some other rhinos don't. So we know that the rhinos exist, but now we have to identify who are the rhinos. Speaker Mike Johnson is making a huge announcement here about the Epstein files and Ghislaine Maxwell. Take a listen.
Speaker Johnson, this is sort of on the heels of something else that a lot of people are asking questions about. And because we've been lied to by our federal government for so long, I feel like there's some type of like there's a pain point, right? And a pressure cooker that gets heated up on issues like the Epstein issue, right? And obviously that's something that's taken over a lot of the online dialogue. But a question here about it that concerns either testifying or testimony for Ghislaine Maxwell potentially before Congress, or if you would support members like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Paulina Luna on the release of subpoenaing the Epstein documents from the DOJ, whether you would support either of those.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Marjorie or Anna about that specific subject, but I'm for transparency. We're intellectually consistent in this. We look, Reagan used to tell us we should trust the American people. I believe in that principle. I know President Trump does as well, and I trust him. I mean, he put together a team of his choosing, and they're doing a great job. It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide it. I mean, the White House and the White House team are privy to facts that I don't know. I mean, this isn't my lane. I haven't been involved in that. But I agree with the sentiment that we need to put it out there. And you know, Pam Bondi, I don't know, when she originally made the statement, I think she was talking about documents, as I understood it, they were on her desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody. I like Pam. I mean, I think she's done a good job. We need the DOJ focusing on the major priorities. So let's get this thing resolved so that they can deal with violent crime and public safety and election integrity and going after Act Blue and the things that the president is most concerned about, as we are. So I'm anxious to get this behind us.
Yeah, so he's anxious to get this behind. But again, he made some clear statements here that, again, you know, Speaker Mike Johnson says that he supports Ghislaine Maxwell testifying to Congress and demands that the DOJ release everything they have on Epstein. He says that he is for transparency and we should put everything out there and let the people decide. Let the American people decide. Don't hold it in. Let the American people decide. And I think that I'm a bit surprised here that this is his stance. But he understands that this is what we want. This is what the American people want to know. And we want to know the connections. We want to know the dots. We want to know who was there. We want to know everything. And I think everybody does. And I think one of the main things that the Democrats are trying to do by earlier in this video that I was trying to basically explain was that they want to control the narrative, that they're the party of morality, that all of a sudden they're the party of morality, that they're the party that wants to release this. They're introducing all these bills while also simultaneously not and lying about it as well. But they had a chance. They were in office for the last 4 years. They never did anything about it. This is only a big deal because it's Trump. But I would agree with, you know, Speaker Mike Johnson. And there's a lot of people, especially shout out to Benny Johnson as well, for pushing this. I think we should, just let the chips fall where they may. Let the people decide. Let the people make the decision. That's what we are here to do. We're tired of one thing that Tucker Carlson said that I thought was very important, whether you agree with what he said throughout the weekend or not. But I think that this was, maybe we could all pretty much agree on this. He said that in America, people are tired of watching those at the top or those at the 1% or whoever constantly just get away with doing exactly whatever they want. And I think America is at that point where they're just on the brink of we just don't want that. And if we don't care who it is. And if they happen to be Republican, we'll call them out on that as well. So very interesting. But this thing it gets more and more interesting here as we go, because Trump basically dropped a bomb. He dropped a bomb on us, and then we'll end the video here. But he says that Trump repeats that the Epstein files are made up by Democrats. And I'm not gonna lie to you, man. What's the truth here? Trump says that this is all made up by Democrats, and that I'll play the video. Here we go.
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden information. We went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well. And it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
So Trump says whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. So again, Trump saying that, Obama and, a whole bunch of people are responsible for this, including and mostly Democrats. Now, a lot of people think this is a very, very controversial take, because all the power is in the DOJ, as he said that whatever she finds, and by she, he's talking about the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, whatever she in the DOJ think is credible, they should, put out there. And this has pretty much upset a lot of people. They think that this is not a good answer and a good moment by Trump or the administration, that the people just want transparency and release everything and let the people and let the chips fall where they may. That when they voted for Trump, they didn't expect anything to be held back. That's the whole point of choosing. But again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know how you guys feel about all of this. The biggest story is that the GOP and Republicans blocked the Epstein files from being released in the new bill, which again, that doesn't seem to be the case. But if the Republicans, and I'll close it here, I said that before, but I'll close it here. If the Republicans are responsible and run the House floor, shouldn't they then bring up the files to vote on? Since now the Democrats are so urgent on it, I think it's time for the Republicans to show their true colors. Or have they already shown their true colors? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments about Speaker Mike Johnson's comments on this, Marjorie Taylor Greene's, Paulina Luna, and Trump. Let me know what you guys think down below.